Hey, I got two questions for Vic. Which series of Fullmetal Alchemist do you think is superior?
What's your name?
Jared.
Jared, you know what? I would really have a hard time picking, actually. I love the first series so much. And I've really enjoyed Brotherhood. I didn't think I would. In fact, I was very scared. When we started Brotherhood, after the first series did so well, you know, there's that bit of trepidation, like, what if it's not as good? I mean, what if it's just not as good? So I was kind of scared when we started it, but we all fell back into it, had a great time. I haven't seen the end of Brotherhood yet, so I don't really know what's going to happen.
It's awesome.
Is it awesome? I hear it's awesome, but I'm like, la, la, la. Don't tell me. But I don't know that I would ever be able to pick one. Which one do you like better?
Brotherhood, definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to be paying close attention then, just for you, Jerry.
And my other question was, the episode 52 or 53 of Brotherhood, the one that's called Flames of Revenge. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know the names, but is it the one? That's freaking awesome,
yeah.
Isn't it?
I just want to know how Travis dealt with that episode.
He had the time of his life. That's how he dealt with it. He absolutely had. I think he even texted me, and he's like, "Dude, I just recorded the most amazing episode." I'm like, "I can't wait to see it." And so when I got in to record my part, which was several weeks later, we just sat down and watched it. Usually, you only record your lines. You know what I mean? The studio wants to get you in and out as quick as possible because, of course, time is money, right? So if Ed's not in a scene, I don't even see the scene. We just jump around and record our lines. So I asked the director to let me sit and watch that entire episode because Travis said it was so awesome. And it was. It was awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks for the questions.
Hi, this question is for Mela. I think it's an obvious question. Kaname or Zero?
Well, the wonderful part about being a 15, 16-year-old girl is you don't have to decide. You can be very fickle and let the gentleman, well, earn your choice. I am leaning towards my first love.
Goofy's single too.
We were actually talking about this at dinner last night, weren't we? We were talking about how she should be with Zero, and why the heck did she walk off into the sunset with Ganame? That's what we wanted to know. We're planning on reanimating the whole ending. No, we're not. Just kidding.
Hi, this question's for Bill. How many projects did you do for Foghorn Leghorn? And can I ask you to do his doodah voice, please?
Which one? What was that? Oh, Foghorn Leghorn. Has anyone seen the movie Space Jam?
Yeah.
I was very fortunate. When I first started, I got to meet Mel Blanc, who originated all of the Warner Brothers characters. And I was so fortunate to get to take over a couple of his characters through the years, one being Foghorn Leghorn. Of course, he's a big chicken, and he's got that southern voice down there. I tell you, boy, that boy don't pay attention to me. He keep pitching him, I keep missing him, or something like that there, you know. So that's one of my favorite, and it is my favorite Warner Brothers characters. Now, do you get Robot Chicken? Yeah. Okay, there was a great episode. I got to work with Seth Green. I got to rap, actually, do an Eminem style thing as Bugs and Daffy, who was rapping against Elmer Fudd. So I'm Bugs and Daffy in that episode. I got to say great lines like, "We're no longer Looney Tunes, we're Lizoony Tizoons." Hoo-hoo! You know, okay, Daffy, getting out there and doing all the rap. And so Seth Green had to actually show me how to rap, the whitest guy in the world. And I'm supposed to be hip, man, you know. No, it took me a while, but it was a great episode. So the Warner Brothers characters are just great. Oh, ain't I a stinker? Next question.
Hey, this one's for Bill.
Yeah.
You've been voicing Goofy for 23 years, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, more recently, I believe you voiced him in Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, how different is it to voice a character in a game as opposed to a cartoon?
That was different because that was one of the first things that I had done. Usually I'm the original voice and we just have a script and are reading it. The game had already been produced in Japan. So, and there is about 43 different languages that Disney translates all of their material into. So I was listening in my headphones to the Japanese Goofy, and I had to put the English words in the same length of space, trying to match the lip flaps. And it's very odd because Goofy is one of the toughest ones around the world to translate because it's a very accent-oriented voice. It's like horseback on the throat here instead of up in the front. And the Japanese voice was very odd. To me, it sounded like, you know, it's very odd. It was up and down, and he was great. And he had studied my laugh. A long time ago, I said how I do Goofy and everything. They sent it all around the world to the different languages, and Goofy's laugh is normally, like that. The Japanese actor had broken it down into 3 separate things. It was like, very staccato. And it's always fun to meet the foreign language ones. I had lunch once with the Chinese and Norwegian Goofy. It's really strange sounding, especially Norwegian, because it's got that you know, it was very strange. But it's been a great character, and we've done just the 4th one for the PSP, which we just did a month and a half ago. I went into the studio, and they were still recording that with they were actually recording Leonard Nimoy, who is, you know, I got to meet him, which was big excitement for me because I'm a Star Trek fan. And so, you know, I was going in and live long and prosper, you know, and he flipped me off, I think. I don't know. He was not too happy with that. But so it's kind of fun to meet these people. I don't know if they're happy to meet me, but it was, yes, we got...
Hi guys, this is a question for Vic. When you auditioned for Vampire Night, did you actually specifically audition for Zero? Because I can kind of see you more as a senior idol kind of character, but did you actually specifically audition for the character?
Well, you know what? I auditioned for Ido and Zero and Kaname and Yagari, the vampire hunter teacher, the guy that teaches them. I was hearing a lot from the fans that they thought that I would end up playing Ido. But I have to tell you, I really love me some Zero. And you know what? I got really excited when I found out he has a twin brother, Ichiru. And so when we started recording and we got to the point where Ichiru shows up, we would record all of Zero's lines and then go back and record Ichiru. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the same Japanese voice actor that voiced Zero also voiced Tamaki in Oran High School. Yes, Mamoru. And so I thought it was so neat to hear his voice again after becoming so familiar with his voice in Oran. And I just absolutely loved playing Zero. And I didn't know exactly whether I would even get any character. I auditioned for several, but I was really excited to play Zero. And then when I found out, I mean, an actor's dream is to get to play off of yourself. I mean, to play 2 different characters. I'm sure Bill is very familiar. Playing several characters and hearing playback of yourself, something you already did, and then acting off of it. So when Ichiru and Zero start fighting or going at each other, it was really a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for asking. It's awesome.
Vic, I wanted to ask, since you worked on the Dragon Ball Z anime, what your thoughts were on the Dragon Ball Z Evolution action?
It was the worst ever. I couldn't bear it. Could you bear it? Did you guys like the Dragon Ball movie? Lord have mercy. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't even buy a ticket to see it. All of us at Funimation kind of boycotted it. We're like, no, we're not gonna go. I was on an airplane, and it was one of the selections that you could watch on an airplane. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it because technically I'm not paying any money for it. I mean, I'm not buying it, so.
How do you plane ticket?
No, don't say that. No! Doggone you. No, I watched it on the plane, and I think probably the person next to me thought I was going to. It was kind of scary because I was like, I had the headphone. You know how when you have the headphones on and you kind of zone out that you're actually in a quiet area and you start like making noises, like responses, like verbal responses. Like you ever sit beside somebody on a plane and they're watching some funny movie and they're like, and you're like sitting beside them. I was going like, oh, you're kidding. I was like talking out loud. I'm like, oh God. So no, I didn't like it at all. Hollywood has a tendency to destroy those things, don't they? They have a long, distinguished record of destroying animated shows whenever they turn them into live action. They just turn them into some nonsense that is just so horrible. And I've heard, you guys, I don't want to scare you, I've heard that there is a Cowboy Bebop movie in the works with, what's his name? I can't even think of it. Keanu Reeves. Oh my God. I swear. Oh my gosh. And I've also heard that there's how many of you guys know an anime called Fullmetal Panic? I play this character named Kurt Weber, but I've also heard that there's a Fullmetal Panic movie, and they're talking about it, and that Zac Efron. I know, right?
Crowd's getting unruly now.
I know. They're getting pitchforks and torches. Yeah! Storm the castle! Who's got the microphone? Take us away from this horrible
Hey, I just want to say welcome to Auckland. Just for Vic, can you do your best Mustang impersonation of his miniskirt speech?
I only know the ending. On that day, all female officers will be required to wear tiny miniskirts! You should hear Travis do Ed. That's kind of funny. Because he's got that real low, deep, resonant voice. It's funny. Question?
Hi, I was wondering, what do you guys like to do outside of the studio? Like hobbies or anything? Fun stuff?
Well, I'm a film composer or composer for film and television. I'm a songwriter. So I enjoy doing music and writing with my partner Alexander Burke and Magnolia Memoir, my band. But as far as hobbies, I actually love to sew. I love to go to vintage shops and cut and paste and tear stuff up and repurpose it. I can't wait. You guys have to tell me where the good thrift store and vintage stores are here in Auckland.
You got, wow, look at that. Well, outside of work, I have a film company with my wife. We do documentaries, so I get to work with her, and she's a director, and so it's a lot of fun to do that. We just for fun, I guess photography. My degree was in broadcast journalism, so for a few years I was actually a reporter. I wrote news stories in college, and I had kind of like a minor in photography too, broadcast journalism photography. So it's just my hobby, taking pictures now. So that's one of my great loves, and also supporting my son. So doing anything for money. So.
Yeah, is that fun for you?
Yeah, actually it is, because he's got to pay for me sometime anyway. Get out and get a job, would you? He's actually a drummer in an up-and-coming band, and actually tonight, I'll push my son's band, Blessed Lestrange. They call it Voodoo Rock. If you ever go online, you can see it, and they got about 5 million plays on their MySpace within the last 6 months. And tonight, they're performing at a club, the Roxy in Hollywood, for a bunch of record producers, and so we're hoping they get a record deal. So go online, check them out.
Nice. I do a lot of things that I do for fun, and I just happen to get paid for them.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that disqualifies them as being hobbies, but I love sports. I love to play in just about any sport I get my hands on. In fact, my souvenir from Auckland, from New Zealand, I bought a pair of football boots. Or we would call them soccer cleats. I needed a new pair of soccer shoes, and so I bought those. That's my souvenir. And, what?
Give rugby a go.
I am terrified of rugby.
Oh, wow.
You know what? Every time I have turned on the channel and seen a rugby match, and I see one hit, I'm like, oh!
Those guys are tough.
God, they would kill, I would be dead in one hit. Those guys are amazing, I don't know. But also, my degree is actually in film. I have a film degree. So I do a lot of shooting and editing and directing work. I do a lot of music work, writing and producing music for all different things. I also do a lot of graphic design work. I love me some Photoshop and oh yeah, all that kind of, I love that kind of stuff. I did all the art design on my CDs, and I do a lot of, like, for other people, I'll do company logo designs and poster designs and website designs. And you know what? I love to sew too. My mom taught me how to sew because when I was a little kid, you guys, one of my greatest passions of all is original Star Trek. TOS, baby, TOS, the original series. You couldn't ask me a question about the original series that I don't know. I memorized that show when I was a little kid. In fact, at some conventions I go to, they actually schedule a trivia challenge contest where the fans try to stump me. And the current score is Vic, 85, fans 9.
Wow.
So I am a huge fan. In fact, I direct and work on a Star Trek web series called Star Trek New Voyages. These guys in upstate New York have completely rebuilt all of the original sets, costumes, music, stories. It's original Star Trek, and I am absolutely a child again. It's a childhood love and fantasy, a dream come true. When I walked onto that bridge, Bill, OMG. When I walked onto that bridge and went down and sat in the captain's chair, oh my gosh, it was amazing. But so I do a lot of that in my spare time too. I work with this web series, love. And my mom taught me to sew when I was little so that I could make all of my Star Trek costumes and she wouldn't have to worry about it. But I wouldn't bother her with making me Star Trek costumes. So. Question?
Hi, I've got a request for Mela and Vic. So,
uh-oh, I know where this is going.
Well, you're both working on Vampire Night together. You guys are awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Just wondering if you'd like to do a little Zero and Yuki scene for us, please.
Have to have words. I like you the way you think. It's all in the action. Let's see.
We're laughing because we don't record the scenes together, and the ones I remember the most happen to be in the shower.
We never act those out, though, by the way.
They're writing the third act.
All right, what's your name? Becca? This is for you. Yuki, when the day comes that I can no longer control myself, I want you to be the one to kill me.
It won't come to that. Just taste the blood.
Wow. Hey, Goofy doesn't get those kind of scenes.
Really, it's like, gotta get me some of that.
Give me a kiss, honey.
Bill's gonna be on the phone tomorrow. I want a Goofy cartoon where he's a vampire.
Yeah, I want to be a vampire.